It's week 4 of the NFL. And coming up, we'll see the dynamic Alvin Kamara. He was steady for them on the ground a week ago, reaching the century mark and adding a score. It's the Saints and the Vikings, and it's coming up next on Madden NFL 23.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaunton, and Charles, you look at this Saints team as they interplay. We're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings. And this is what every one of these guys waits for each and every week, CD, that moment of anticipation just before the game begins.
I know most of these guys have played well over 100 games dating back to their high school days. Imagine that number if you go all the way back to the Little League type of ball. But that excitement before a game, it never gets old. They all know how to channel it once they actually kick this one off, though.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense coming out for the first time, and in his 5th season leading this crew, coming off his 3rd career Pro Bowl nod, Kirk Cousins.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
And no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Cousins now. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So on 4th down, Ryan Wright on to punt for Minnesota. Back deep, a Louisiana native, Jarvis Landry. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. He'll take it at the 42. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. They're led out by a 3-time Pro Bowler, owner of over 35,000 passing yards in 11 seasons, the veteran Andy Dalton.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel, doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
To about the 48-yard line. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 17 carries, 110 yards in the score.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Landry. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And it's caught. And the Saints are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Now Dalton. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Juwan Johnson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Will Lutz on for the point after. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
On 2nd and 12, Cousins. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. To throw is Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you're coming off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And that will come the offense as they take over. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. Dalton throwing out right here, caught by Olave. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. To throw again on 2nd down. Dalton. That's Olave bringing in another one. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. So this game here in London, the first of 5 games in the NFL International Series for 2022. We'll see the Giants and Packers here next week. Broncos and Jags at Wembley at the end of the month. The Seahawks and the Bucs, that'll be in November in Munich, Germany. First time a game's been held there. And then we wrap up down in Mexico City, November 21st. Cardinals and Niners from Estadio Azteca. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints go up by 2 touchdowns. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team moves it away. Kene Nwagu now out of his end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Throwing again on 2nd down. Cousins. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Isaac Yedem picks it, and the Saints are going to take possession of the football. The struggles continue here offensively. Still nothing for them on the scoreboard, and now an interception.
Yeah, the offense looks extremely sluggish, not really in sync at all. Dare I say, it looks like it got left behind in customs.
Oh, you've had that in your back pocket. You were waiting for that.
Probably should have left it in my back pocket, too.
Well played. That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it, but couldn't pull it in. 3rd and 2 for Dalton. Looking for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, New Orleans. Andy Dalton with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And the Saints take a 3-touchdown lead. Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it's Michael Thomas who ends it with a touchdown reception. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. Taken at the goal line. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Give the sack to David Onyemata, the product of Nigeria by way of Canada. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Third down, here's a run by Cook. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? It'll be a gain of 4 here, and it will take us to the end of the first half of play. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. And here's Ryan Wright now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. Now Landry. So we reach halftime, and what's been... All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. So here are the Saints to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. They start the second half with Kamara. And some room to work. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. And they're going to speed things up here. Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. Taken down at the 47-yard line. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They run it again with Kamara. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the 3rd. On 2nd down, Kamara. And he's able to break out a run tackle, but then quickly brought down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the 1st here. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a 1st down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. A 10th carry for Kamara. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Play action. action here with Dalton. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his third touchdown of the game and fourth on the year. And the Saints take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Lutz good on the extra point, and it is 28-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded right at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
On 2nd and 11 now. Cousins. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And this offense on third down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. Open here, Adam Thielen. Got the Vikings first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. They'll throw again. Cousins. Middle of the field to Jefferson. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it's 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Cousins. They still can't get it. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 45-yard line. Here's Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Isaac Yiadom in there to pick it. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
But not only is his defense pitching a shutout, now they're contributing points themselves. I mean, they have really put together what's almost been a perfect effort here in this one.
I love how you express that. They've absolutely exceeded expectations in this one. And even better than their play, it's been their effort. Even with the win in their back pocket already, every one of those guys is still out there fighting like it's a tie game.
Alonso looked to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
On third down, Cousins. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Here's Ryan right now as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. Landry now on the return. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. Michael Thomas now heading back onto the field. Well, this defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now, they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him, take him over to our team so we don't cover him anymore? Because he was really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know when that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thing.
120 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Try to pound it in, Kamara. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. Again, it's Kamara. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill, but remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes, and that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
Lutz with the extra point, and it is 42-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the 4th quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for New Orleans, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll drop down to 1-3, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears.